I just watched the best werewolf movie I have seen in a very long time and the best werewolf movie that you've never seen. And I feel very, very confident in saying that you have not seen this movie because I don't hear anybody ever talk about this werewolf movie anywheres on YouTube. I haven't seen it on like subreddits, nowheres. This is a movie that people don't talk about, and it's a damn good movie. And the thing I like about it is the fact that it is different from every other werewolf movie that you've ever seen. It doesn't play on all the original tropes, but it still has its points that keep it in the werewolf lore. The look of the werewolf is completely different than any other werewolf movie that you've ever seen. And the style that this movie is shot in is in a style that you see in horror often, but never in werewolf horror. And even more, it's rare to see it with a creature of any kind. And that's found footage. This movie shot as a found footage slash mockumentary going through the events of what had happened, and then you get the trial and the case of stuff going on. It's kind of a whole unique slow burnish type of thing, and then it goes batshit crazy. And I just love found footage and mockumentaries. I love like the Hell House series. I love The Office as a TV show. So this kind of seems like it's right up my alley. If you are a fan of those two, I believe you'll like this movie as well. And that movie is Where from 2013. So like I said, this is a found footage movie, and it does show you a little bit of everything. The acting in this movie is fantastic. There's blood, there's gore. Some of the kill scenes are just ferocious in a sense. Like, you just see people doing things that you would not expect to see, especially in found footage, where usually that's like a confine of like how much you can actually show. But this movie does it brilliantly because you do get cameras that are right behind the people. You do get cameras that are on people. But you also get cameras that are stationary in rooms, so it's not all that shaky cam shit that can kind of make people feel sick. And then the way it's all pieced together is you're building up this story for this man and his son were brutally murdered. And they think it might have been by an animal or it might have been by this man. And then his mother is in the hospital and she says his hands were so big. So they automatically assume it's a man. And they go directly after one person. And we're trying to figure out why are they trying to pinpoint this guy. And as you're finding along the way that there's no hard evidence. There's nothing to prove that this guy actually did it. But yet he's being found guilty. And they need to prove that he's innocent with all of the doctored police work. I mean, you have footprints that washed away. You get mixed up DNA samples. There's nothing to show that this guy did it. But they still got to disprove it. And the guy who plays the character of the main guy that's being on trial here, he is doing a great job in this movie acting. He's a big hulking guy. He does not talk a whole lot, and he looks like he's a monster. You know, he's got long hair over his eyes. His mouth is kind of messed up. He's got kind of grotesque, big, huge hands. He's got these, like, hulking giant feet. And you don't know, like, did he do this? Didn't he do this? And then we get to the point where they really, really, really want to prove that he was innocent in this whole thing. And they're going to do a test for him because they think he has this rare genetic disease because he can barely even walk or move. So there's nothing showing how he could have done this ferocious attack on people. And when they do like testing on the attack, you can see its bite marks. You can see the amount of like pressure that they had to use with the bite down on it was so astronomically high that there's no way a human could have done it. And when they do this testing and you see him kind of doing this strobe light in his room and everything else you see right in his eyes, boom, that's when this film kicks into second gear and this guy turns into this ferocious monster who just goes around killing every single person he sees. And there's so many deaths and they do it so well. The blood and the gore, they don't skimp on it in this movie, but they don't like go full splatterfest to where it doesn't really fit the film that you're watching. And we get to see, like, this guy turns into this monster, and then you find out that it's around a full moon when he hits his full strength. So that's when you see the transformation of him becoming this monster. And the neat part about it, him being a werewolf, is most werewolf movies, you're going to have this cool transformation, and you don't see, like, a huge transformation like you'd see in American Werewolf in London. Instead, you get, like, this small transformation. You see, like, shifts in his back and stuff going on. and it looks inhuman, so you know there's something happening, but it's not so over the top. And when it's done, he is just kind of a hulking man. He's a very hairy man, but he's not like a dog or a beast like you see with a werewolf. But he is one big, strong dude, and you just see him start ripping people apart. He's biting them. You see him throw people halfway across the room and smash into cement pillars. So he does get speed and he does get strength, and he also gets like kind of a superhuman ability where using a couple of bullets in this guy are not going to kill him because bullets don't kill a werewolf. Takes a little more than that. Also, you see that he can fall from tremendous heights and he'll land on his feet and he is perfectly okay. There is one scene where they show him fall out of a building from like 10 stories, and when he lands, just the way it's shot and everything, it looks so awesome. Like, it looks real and you wouldn't expect it. And then, you know, obviously now with the story progressing, there is a twist at the end. I don't want to give any of the ending away, so you can watch this movie and see what's going on. That's just kind of like the first half of the movie. It starts as a slow burn. It's building the character. You learn what this guy is in a sense. You learn like how his upbringing is with his family. And you get to see how this police in this town are like going out of their way to really put it on him for a very, very specific reason, to where it makes you question, even though you know there's a werewolf coming at some point in this movie, it gets to the point where they're trying to swerve you to think he's not that guy. But spoiler alert, he is that guy. And they give that away pretty early. And if you've seen any trailer for this movie, you would see that he's this guy in the trailer as well. He does a great job. Like I said, all the acting in the movie is done very, very well. You have the police officer who's kind of a dick and always seems like he's hiding something, and he's foreign because they're in France for this. You have the lawyer for this guy who's trying to disprove that he could have done it. She does a great job in following the leads, everything that you would expect to see from a lawyer who's trying to disprove stuff. And then as the story goes along and she finds out, oh shit, he really is that guy, you can see her demeanor change, but she still wants to be a part of it because she feels like she has to protect other people from her client then. And then she has a couple people who are helping her. One guy is an ex-boyfriend, and he's kind of like an animal expert because they wanted to prove an animal did this. He does a good job in his role, and as his story progresses, his character arc, his is done very, very well. And it kind of throws you out of nowhere because you don't expect what you see in the end. But the story does kind of leave breadcrumbs to get you there. And that's one thing I do like about the story, is it's not over convoluted, and it does give you some back history, and there's kind of twists and turns in the plot of like whether or not this guy did it. But then as soon as you hit that point where he actually did it and you know this for a fact, it goes balls to the wall. And you end up seeing like 40 or 50 people literally die on screen. There's so much carnage and so much blood, and it's just such a good, epic, just second half of the movie, like everything about it. And then the final ending, like the battle scene that you get between, you know, the good guy and the bad guy, there is a huge epic battle, and that is shot really, really well, and it's done so awesome. And then at the very end, you get a small little swerve, kind of like, haha, look at this. And it is done so you might not expect it, but either way, it's all done well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments if you've seen this movie. If you know any other movies that are hidden gems, put them in the comments. I am looking forward to watching more stuff that most people don't know and getting videos out to you guys, because for some reason those hidden gems are just fucking such a secretive thing, and we all need to know about them. Don't forget to subscribe for more of these videos. Until the next one, rest in peace.